Okay, on the Dow Jones Industrial Average, here's a hanging man at a top. It's not a perfect hanging man. Number one, it's not bearish. It's got a little bit of bullish tendency to it. It's a teeny little bit of a blip of a wick up top. But what we would do ideally is draw a line at the low or the low or the open. In this case, the low, because we're bearish, and trigger an entry beyond that right there, which would have us in this trade in this direction. Here's a trade we're in. Oops. Here's a trade we're in right now. We didn't initiate it because of this hanging man, but you can see it did rather predict the move. Here's the hanging man. It does qualify because the wick is at least as big as two bodies. Here's one full body. Here's two. So we got a little bit of extra room right there. We could have triggered an entry here. We could have triggered an entry on an open below this close, and we would have captured this this entire move right here. Let's take a look at a couple more. Here we have a hammer, right? Hammer at the bottom. And we have a teeny little shadow up top, which makes it not a perfect hammer, but it's a hammer nonetheless, because the criteria is that there be little to no shadow at the top, and we have a little one. Then, of course, as with any hammer or hanging man, the next day confirms your entry. So we'd put a line right here, triggering our entry long in this direction. Here's another one, and we could put our entry at the low if we wanted to, and that would confirm a trigger entry in this direction. Here's another one with a little bit of a shadow up top. We could, we'll see, we'll go like this. We could use this high and trigger entry in this direction. Accuracy is pretty good if you use it in conjunction with a good oscillator and just some common sense when you're trading. Here's a nice little hanging man right here. We could draw a line at the low to trigger entry short. Here's a hammer down below, and this could be a hammer or a hanging man depending upon how we interpreted it. We could put a line at the high to trigger entry long, at the low to trigger entry short, and you can see we would have taken the long entry. So use the next day's data to confirm a hammer or a hanging man entry, and a little bit of a shadow on top, or on top is okay, no matter what direction you're looking at. Use your low or your close or your high to trigger entry depending upon which direction you're trading. In this case, this could be a high or a top, depending upon how you looked at it, but in either case we can put a line at the high and the low and just wait for the next day's price action to trigger our entry. So that's the hammer and the hanging man.